What's up, my 11 YouTube friends? Well, it's been a while since I put up a video. I thought I'd do a little update of what's going on here. Just sitting here thinking and drinking a nice cold gash. Cheers to all my YouTube friends. A couple things I want to talk about. One is I've decided to actually redo the motor. Not actually redo, but build a new motor for the 79 Centurion. I bought literally an entire truckload of 650 and 600 parts from a guy. I really didn't want it all, but it was kind of a take it all or nothing kind of a deal, and I ended up with more cylinders and engines and cranks and cases and heads and more than I could ever do with in a lifetime. So it got me thinking, if I got all this 650 stuff, what do I do with it? I might as well build a nice trail mod engine for the 79 Centurion. That motor has been in there. I built that sled 7 years ago. I was looking through my phone one day and boom, January. 7 years ago, I built that sled. January 2014. So I've been ripping on that thing for 7 years, and it's just been a very, very fun sled. And the motor's still running strong, but it's got some hiccups here and there, and I don't understand why it does it sometimes, but it's got a hiccup here and there. And I decided I'm going to take the complete engine, carbs, everything that is on that engine. I'm pulling out, I'm going to oil the bottom end, I'm sticking that engine on the shelf, and I'm building a whole new engine for it. Call up my buddy Eric up at Northern Crankshaft, told my plan. I'm like, you know, is this something that can be done? Can we build a trailable mod engine, you know, something that will stay together? Kind of a lot to request, but he's like, nope, I think we can easily do this. He was pretty excited about this project. He's like, we do a couple 650s a year, he says, and you know, a long time ago we did a lot of 650s, but a couple guys here and there, he said, every year want something done to a 650. So he's all over this. I think he's actually pretty excited about this little project because I showed him the sled that it's going in, and he's like, this thing's going to be a killer when it's done. He's predicting some more horsepower. He's taking the crankshaft and he's going to build me, he's talking like 10,000 plus RPMs this motor's going to spin at, which is already it's 1,000 over what I spin it at right now, because what the problem is, the Centurion gets a hell of a hole shot, but after about 600-800 feet, the bigger triples start to run it down, and I don't want that to happen. And he says, you know, we'll be able to still get that killer hole shot, and he says the motor will spin an extra 1,000 RPM, so you'll have longer legs on it then too. And you know, I don't want to have to race all the way across the lake on the Centurion, but I'd like to just leave the big triples behind me for quite a ways across the lake. So if you ever seen some of the videos of it, it's the real deal. That Centurion, I mean, the thing is a big triple killer. I mean, the thing is just a blast. It's fun to watch. It's fun to ride. So that's the big update right now. We got some other projects that are going to start. You know, even though it's summertime, triple lover like me, I never stop. I'm constantly looking for new sleds, buying different sleds, getting sleds. There's a few projects coming up. I'll talk about them. But I just want to do this video right now about the Centurion. I'm going to show you the parts that I got to send up to Northern Crankshaft. And if you're ever looking for something done to your engine, give them a ring. I couldn't be happy. I just could not absolutely be happier with what I've had them do for me so far. So when I find a good shop that does great work, and I'm going to pass it on to everybody. So I really like Northern Crankshaft. So they do a really good job. Sitting here on Bastard. This thing's a really fun sled too. But let me show you the crankshaft. So I pulled a couple engines apart to try and find enough good parts to send them, cylinders mainly, because he doesn't want to bore them. He said he will if he has to, but he says as much port work as that he's going to have done on these cylinders, he's like, save your bores. He said that way if you have an issue with your cylinder, it can be bored then, because you're going to have a lot of money wrapped up in this porting. He said, so you don't want to bore them right away if you don't have to, because boring, there's $200 extra per cylinder right there. Cost of the piston, the cost of the boring, you're at a minimum of $200 on top of the porting. The porting's 2+, you know, 2.5, 250 a cylinder. So, you know, I kind of want to keep this on a budget too, and I want to just throw frickin' $30, $100 bills at this thing and say, okay, now I got a fast, you know, trail mod motor. Yay. No, I don't want to do that. I want to try and build it on a budget that really anybody could do, you know, and so I'm trying not to bore it. I have enough cylinders. I think I can find three good ones. Pretty sure of it. But the first engine I took apart, and I got a hold of Eric. I'm like, well, I got some parts rounded up. I said, but my luck, the first engine I pulled apart, the crankshaft broke in it. And he's like, not a big deal. He says, we'll fix that. He says, not much more expensive just to put it, it's a PTO end's broke off. I'll grab it here and show you what I got going on. So here's the PTO end. The bearing slides on and off too. So this whole end needs to be redone, which he has like 5 on the shelf, he said, ready to go. And then he just sends out that one to get redone, so he has another one. But so this here, pretty common problem, broke right here. And so I said, I have other cranks I can send you. I can send you a good one. He said, no. He says, keep your good ones in case you're ever in a bind and you need one. You know, he says, you know, that way you can check your bearings. Okay, yep, this thing could go in an engine. He says, we'll fix a broken one. He says, that broken one does you no good. So, very good idea. I thought that was, that's why you go through people like that. They think of all that kind of stuff. So this crankshaft's going to head up there. I'm sending to my cylinders, sending to my heads, and the case, because he's actually going to assemble everything and check the actual timing, the port timing on this engine. He says they're all slightly different. You know, everything's casted, you know, high production stuff. He'll assemble everything and he's going to check the port timing on everything and get this motor so it's dialed in perfectly. I'm excited. I'm excited as hell. I mean, I'm holding it all back right now. If you've seen how excited I was, I'd be doing flips and cartwheels around here. That's how excited I actually am about this. But I'm trying to hold it back, and being they have such a long lead time, that's why I'm getting this engine out right now. I'm not going to touch the sled till fall, but I'm trying to get all the engine parts up to them right now so that it's, you know, if I did it in the fall, I'd be on the phone with them every other day. Hey, you done yet? Are you done yet? You're done yet? I don't want to do that. So I give it to them for the summer, and that way they can take their time and get it done right, which they do everything right all the time. But that way they don't have me bugging them, basically, of when am I going to get it back? When am I going to get it back? That's not going to happen if I send it there in June and hopefully to have it back by August. That seems reasonable enough, and I think they'll make that happen. So enough about that part. Let me show you the Centurion. I have a lot of videos, obviously, of this sled racing other sleds. I have a couple videos of it after it was together. I built this thing before I was a YouTuber. Like I said, I built it 7 years ago. I didn't start really doing YouTube like 6 years ago when I was building Ratfish. I did a couple cheesy little videos of what I was doing. But I didn't really start YouTube until like 4 years ago, maybe 5. Well, 4 years ago was about when I really started putting up a lot of our videos. But this thing here, I did a video of it after I had built the thing, put it all together. I actually did the whole build on vintage sleds. I kind of wrote a whole story on what I was doing on the thing and how I was doing it. And some people chimed in and actually gave me some great advice how to make it all work. But I mean, basically I took a 79 Centurion chassis and a hood I bought from a guy. I bought the hood and the tunnel from a guy. Had to come up with a belly pan. Duct tape Mike supplied the belly pan for it because it's actually key to use the belly pan that doesn't have the hand grabs in the bottom of the belly pan because to make the pipes fit right. So you got to have the correct belly pan. There's a few things you got to have correct to do this. But then I bought a 91 650 and I took every single thing out of that 91 650 and stuffed it in here. And the skid, the chain case, the pipes that it had on there, everything. I mean, you're looking at everything from that 91 650 is all underneath the hood of this thing. I had to add fiberglass. You can see right here the seam right here I added to build the hood up and stuff. And I'm kind of recapping some stuff that I've talked about in other videos. But for some of you that just started to watch some of my videos, that's how I built this thing. I had to raise the hood up to clear some of the stuff on the engine. Radiator cap's always been an issue. It's always been digging into the bottom of the hood right here. But yeah, I mean, this thing really runs good. The motor has 10,000 miles on the thing. 10,000. But it was freshened up before I bought the engine. It had been re-rung. That was it. So 10,000 on an Indy 650 motor. It's crazy, but they'll do it. They can do it. So got the pipes on it. I'm going to have those actually ceramic coated. So those are going to come out. Those are going to the ceramic coater, which is a good time to send them over to them because, once again, that takes a little while too. And then I'm not on the phone constantly bugging them about getting my pipes back. So send them out now, get the pipes done now. And then for me to fit these pipes even in this chassis, you can see my cuts right here. I had to cut and turn these things. I had to take a couple inches out of them and rotate pieces and stuff to get all this to fit into the belly pan. But this is a super awesome sled. And I figured, you know, after 7 years beating on this thing, let's put a nice motor in it. That one runs good, like I said, but that one's just, the whole thing's going on the shelf. And so we'll build a nice high revving trail mod motor for it. The thing's going to be a freaking hoot. We'll just walk in. I'm going to bring you guys into my engine room and show you why I have to build this engine to use up some of these parts I got. But here's some of my, I found 4, without taking 2 more motors apart, because I already took apart 2, but I got 4 good cylinders I'm going to send him. Got the case halves, the heads. So I figured out of the 4, hopefully there's 3 there that he gives the thumbs up to and gives them the go. But yeah, here's Ratfish over here. We've been having some fun out in that thing this year too, but something's going on with the Positron right now, so I'm not very happy about that deal. So I got to put it up on the hoist and Yankee the rear end out of it. But so here is my engine room. This is where I store all my engine stuff. But here's one more RXL O2 motor still together. I got another O2 RXL motor sitting back there. I had 2 more O2 RXL sitting here. Here's the remnants of one of them right here. I pulled the cylinders off of that one and then totally tore down the other one for the crank, the cases, and 3 of the cylinders, and I pulled 1 more cylinder off of here just to make sure I had 4 good ones to send up to them. But I got all these cylinders, these 600 big bore cylinders, and more 650 cylinders ported, and heads and piles and cases down here and cranks. And I said I bought a whole truckload of stuff. Really didn't want it all, but the guy's like, this is the price for all of it, or this is the price for 1 engine. The price was the same, so why not take it all? So this is where I keep all my all my Ultra 680 stuff is sitting over here, cases and cranks, and I try to keep stuff somewhat organized. I mean, it's the only way you can. When you got this many triples, you got to keep stuff. These are all Ultra engines sitting over here. 3 Ultra engines and then a 600 SP motor too, along with that 650 engine back there. But just surrounded. Then I got a couple old free airs up there and stuff. That one there is actually for a project, but I don't know if I'm ever going to get to that one. I was going to build a 71 TX, all the motor out of the hood. I was going to even chop more of the bottom of the hood off so the hood would sit down farther. I was going to chop the tunnel. I was just going to go frickin' hog wild with the cutoff wheel and the welder and glass and whatnot and build a pretty custom, just slam to the ground 71 TX, but I don't know. Maybe I'll get to it. Triples have got me bit. I can't do anything else other than think about triples all the time. I got another one sitting outside that I'll bring in here and we'll talk about that one. And that one's pretty cool because the wife really likes that one. So that project's going to be pretty awesome because when the wife gives it the big thumbs up, you know you're in. So that's pretty awesome. So just a little update, guys. Really didn't have anything to build for you right now. Been building trash cans. We got Trenton's Norge over here, ready to go. The engine's sitting over there, ready to go back in. I got done porting his cylinders. Actually, you've seen them on the shelf in there. His cylinders were sitting in there. Finally got the water pump back for redemption. Long story on that one. Then I got all my trash cans. I got a bunch of trash cans ready to go. So I sold a bunch. Then it kind of died off expectantly because it's summer. But I do have inventory of trash cans. If anybody's watching this video, looking for an XLT/XCR monoblock trash can, got them. Any 650, got them. Any 650 extra 12, got them. And the Ultras. I'm doing the Ultras now too. I got my the one original Ultra can sitting over here that I originally made, but I am making them now and selling them. So, all right, guys, that's long enough of me babbling. Sorry, it kind of ran on kind of long, but cheers. Please enjoy all my videos. Thanks, guys. Brains in every can.